Fundrise is probably one of the most reliable and trusted crowdfunding real estate platforms that has been on the market for a long time. And that is what we're going to talk about today. Hello everyone, welcome back to Coaching Fire. David, your coach here, and I'm super excited as today we're going to talk about Fundrise. So the reason it took me so long to get this video out was I had to contact Fundrise and get through their security because they have a block on their app, as well as you can't screen capture when you are working with them. So I had to get onto the computer and do it through the computer and use their actual website. So today we're going to be using their website behind me. But the app is very similar. It's actually a little bit more simple. That's one thing that I think was really great about Fundrise is how simple it is to navigate both their website and their app. For starters, Fundrise is just like a lot of the other real estate platforms that we've talked about, but this is one of the, in my eyes, in my knowledge, I think it's one of the founding companies of crowdfunding for real estate. It's been around the longest. It was one of the first ones I got into. It is kind of always been there, you know. It's a private REIT, so REITs are on the stock market, and you can invest in REITs, and REITs as a company will go out and buy a bunch of properties and then give back to the REIT holders, the stockholders, and essentially that's what you're doing with Fundrise, but in a private market. They're not on the stock exchange, which gives them a lot more leniency and less regulation, which could be good or bad. So there is that to keep in mind. It is a lot different than compared to if you were like Landa or Arrived Homes, where we talked about you choose which property you feel like investing in because you think that's a good return or a good option for you. This one, you are just giving your money and they manage it for you and invest in properties they want. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the website, and I'll show you guys kind of how it works and what my returns have been, and hopefully what kind of things you can expect moving forward. So as you can see, when we first pull up the website here, you just get a big number. It's showing you kind of your account balance and how much it's grown. That growth number is not 100% real. It also includes contributions, which in my mind isn't growth, but it's showing you how much your account has changed since the last time you saw it. So this one is including a contribution. It didn't actually grow that much for me, but it still did grow, and it grows every time I log in. It tells you that little bit of the difference that you've possibly earned back. So the first part of this page, then right below that, you can see it lays out kind of your dividend returns, your appreciation, as well as the advisory fee. And it gives it to you for both year to date as well as overall the life of your account, basically. Like I said, very simple, laid out nicely. You can see kind of a goal over there on the other side. You can set your own personal goal where you want to save. And as you kind of scroll down from there, you can see there's different account types. And I'm not exactly sure what these levels are. Supposedly they provide you with an opportunity to invest in different REITs from Fundrise. So the more money you have in your account, the higher level you are, and then you could potentially invest in more opportunities with the Fundrise. Then they go on and they have two different kind of news sources. One was like spotlights, and the other one is their news feed, talking about maybe the different properties they're investing in or the different functions they're making available to you. And then they top it off with at the bottom, they talk about your account, things you could add. Maybe if you want to do like the retirement savings, which I think is really cool, that they work with maybe an IRA if you needed it. So that way your investments with Fundrise would be in a tax sheltered account. There are drawbacks to that, so make sure you check with your advisor on whether or not that is a good deal for you, because you do limit yourself then on those funds. And not being able to access them until you're good and old, but definitely a cool feature. So then we go over to the performance tab, and under the performance tab you can see a quarterly breakdown as well as again that year-to-date return. So And then at the very, very bottom, they would show you the year-over-year return. So looking at since you started your account and going from there. Um, you can choose whether to put this page in percentages or dollars. I like to do it in percentages because percentages, I think, are a better way to look at it. You can see kind of how much you've returned in percentage wise instead of dollar wise, which does make a little bit of a difference if you're dealing with large sums. But it is worth noting that they do a very good job breaking this all down and showing you what kind of REITs you're in and how they're performing. When you do this, you have three different investment types you can choose, which is either balanced, which is kind of in the middle, or more dividend provided, or more growth provided. And you can choose. I did the balanced one, but that's kind of what they like to do when you set it up. So you can choose depending on how risk adverse you are. Then you have the invest page. On the invest page, it's like I said, very simple. You just put in kind of how much money you'd like to invest, or it shows you at the bottom the more recent transactions that you could see what happened in your account, whether dividends were paid and the dividends were reinvested, or whether you had put in your own contribution or things happened with the accounts. And then you can see your overall portfolio, which is going to show you your different types of investment with Fundrise, which at the moment, and the level I'm at, I can only see two, which is their Fundrise IPO and the REITs. And the IPO is a very special thing that's going on where you can invest actually in the company. So I'm really enjoying that because you get a piece of Fundrise before Fundrise is going out onto the market potentially, or even selling to other people in the future. So it's like you're investing in the company itself instead of just the properties. If you like the idea of Fundrise, allowing other people to invest in properties, then you might want to invest in their IPO as part of the company. So you can see they also have another transaction page, which is very similar to when we were in the invest page at the bottom. And it just shows you recent transactions that you've done. And then there's another category for more, and you can just see like frequently asked questions and everything. Like I said from the start, one really, really good thing about this is just its simplicity. I mean, anyone could log on to Fundrise and open an account, and it would take you merely 5-10 minutes. It's just very, very simple. There is no need to do the due diligence that's done with the other apps where you're trying to find the right property to invest in. You're trying to find the best returns because Fundrise only has the three options that I discussed earlier, which is whether you want dividends, whether you want to be balanced, or whether you want growth. And you just choose which one and put your money in, and that's what happens. That's it. So that's it's very nice in that aspect that it's kind of like a set it and forget it investment. It's always happening. It's kind of behind the scenes, and you just let the money go. Overall, I would say Fundrise is an excellent addition to anyone's portfolio. It is, as I said, one of the first. It was the first real estate investment I had, and I loved it. It returns quarterly dividends. It kind of it's definitely a doorway for people who want to get into real estate, but they're not really sure how, or they're not sure which properties to choose on the other apps. This is a perfect REIT ability to be able to get some real estate exposure without having to manage or worry about which properties you're getting. So I think anyone's portfolio, if you guys need real estate, this is definitely a great addition. Again, diversification is key. So you have stocks, you have your bonds, and you have your real estates, and these count as real estate. So it's really beneficial in that aspect. Overall, I really think it's a good return, a good option, and I think you guys should definitely give it a look if you haven't yet. So that's all we have for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time on Coaching Fire, and until then, good luck investing. Bye-bye. Subscribe, share, and like.